matter of life and death.
Hi, this is Dennis.
And this is Bram from the Dutch symphonic black death metal band Misanthropia. And you are listening to The Bloodshed with the Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International.
And we want to congratulate the Metal Messiah Radio for its 13 years anniversary.
Bram and Dennis, thank you very much for taking time out for this interview. It's a great honor to have you here, and I want to welcome you to the Metal Bloodshed with the Vampire Metal Messiah Radio International.
Okay.
For those who don't know the band, Misanthropia is a symphonic black death metal band from Nijmegen, Gelderland, Netherlands, that was born in the winter of 2004 from the ashes of Thrown by Tyranny, a black gothic band from Tilburg, North Brabant, the Netherlands. Guys, tell us, how did you started doing music together, and how did you start with the band Throne of Tyranny, and how and when did you feel the needs, the feeling that it was time to change in the direction of the way you was doing music by creating this new band, Misanthropia?
That's a real funny story, actually. It's also a lot of history, actually, because Bram and I, we played together since end of the 90s. I think 98, 99, something like that. And we play also some death metal, some heavy metal, some thrash metal. And then we formed a metal band with some gothic influence, with a female singer, and that's called Thrown by Tyranny. But after some years, Bram and I, we were talking, and we don't comfortable in that situation with a female singer, not because she's female, but just the music was not aggressive or something. So actually we decided to pull the plug in that band. And Bram and I, we go together, we start again a new band, and that's called Misanthropia. And the band name was actually inspired by a song from Ancient Rise called Total Misanthropia. Thijs, he knows also this. And then we get the drummer Sabon Gimming in that period. And Thijs Mulders, the keyboard player, was also from Throne by Tyranny. He joined us also. So in that moment, we kicked some ass with the new band, Misanthropia.
Yes, guys. The band introduced themselves to the metal scene through the 2006 release of their debut album, if I still remember, Rise of Necropolis, which you guys performed at many shows and festivals before recording the 2010 album, Slang Des Doods, which means a snake of death. This was the band's first collaboration with Mike Wheat, who is King Diamond and Mercifully Fate guitarist, and he has also collaborated with bands like The Haunted, Edge of Sanity, Gelderland, and many more. Vocals and drums recorded at a Double Noise Tilburg, the Netherlands, and mix and master at Solnas Sound recording Stockholm, Sweden. That was in March back in 2010. How did you guys came to the conclusion that you wanted to have Mike, the one to have done the mix and master for Slang Des Doods? And how did you guys got in touch with him?
I was on vacation in 2008 with a good friend of mine. I met Mike there in a pub.
First of all, you was on vacation in Sweden?
Yeah, and I am a huge fan of his music. In that same of 2 years before that I saw him in that pub, I recognized him because I was standing in the front during a King Diamond show in 2006. So I was there in that pub and I was staring to him. And he thought that I want to go kick his ass. He was a little bit afraid of me. So I said to a friend of mine, I said, I'm going to ask him. I went through him and I said, are you Mike from King Diamond? He said, yeah, I am. And he said, oh my God, I thought you're going to kick my ass for something like that. I said, no, because I'm a huge fan of your music. I know you are also a sound engineer. And so I introduced Misanthropia. I said to him, can we do work together? He said, yeah, of course. And the rest is history. That's actually the whole story.
If we go back for fans, for new fans, if we rewind a little bit, but for Rise of Necropolis, who has mixed and mastered that album?
From the A.
Yeah, from Double Noise.
Okay, that was before you met Mike.
Yeah, 2 years before I met Mike, yeah. And I think Kevin did a good job on that album. But in my opinion, Mike is just the guy. There's a guy, he has so many experience. He's really fair to us.
When you met Mike and everything was already written, you was ready to go into the recording studio, you have sent him the file, or that you went back to Sweden, that you went to Solna Sound recording studio yourself, or the whole band to record, or everything has done just by mail?
No, we recorded here.
Yeah. The most parts we recorded by ourselves. Only the drums we recorded in Sweden.
No, yeah, that was by Omertà. By Slang Des Doods, we recorded in Holland. Then I was going with a hard disk. I traveled Stockholm to Solna South, and I delivered a hard disk drive because I was afraid to do it by mail. I bring in a flight. In 24 hours, I did a return flight. I was totally broken when I came back.
So you was afraid to lose the hard disk?
Yes. I met him there, and he had some couple of friends, and we drank some beers there in the bars, and actually I drank too much. I didn't sleep, and then I went back by airplane and did sleep in the airplane.
Okay, not to be confused for all of you out there listening to this interview, guys and girls, Mike did his first work with the band Misanthropia. He only did the mix and the master, but after some lineup changes in 2014, the band was ready to start recording a brand new album under the name Omertà, which was released and saw the light back in April 2016. But before we go more further into the details, description of this album, could you please present the band current lineup?
Okay, the current guys are Dennis is playing guitar, Hugo is playing the drums, Pepijn Heilbron, he is the bass player of our band, Thijs, he is doing the keys, right now only in studio, not live anymore, and I am also playing guitar and doing the vocals.
Very good, thank you for presenting us the current band lineup. Okay, continue with this interview. Because of a wonderful job done back in 2010 for the album Slang Des Doods, Mike Wheat was asked to mix and master again the new album. At the time, all the songs on Omertà were recorded, mixed and mastered by Mike Wheat and Simon Johansson in the Solna Sound Studio, Stockholm. As expected, the result astonished. Also because of the keyboard arrangement written and performed by Thijs Mulders, as you just said, Bram. Omertà was the first album with this concept, handled stories about the American underworld from the roaring 20s until the end of the Great War and sometimes thereafter. Where or because of what did you decide to make a concept album, and how come you have chosen these themes about mafias?
Because a lot of black death metal bands are the acts like funeral, like witches, Satan. I think in this kind of music stands Satan for freedom. And if you talk over real freedom, we think it's the mafia because they stand above everything. And also inspiration, I think the link from inspiration to adoration is not so big. So yeah, and did some history and information, and yeah, it gives us some vibes. If you watch the movies and go listen of reading the stories, it gives us some inspiration to make some really aggressive music. Yeah, that concept what we actually really like, and that's actually the reason. Again, if you're talking about real freedom, they don't have people above them. They do what they want, and that's actually yeah.
For Slang, Mike Wheat did just the mixing and the mastering, but for Omertà, he did the recording as well. How was your experience with Mike and Simon doing all the recordings for Omertà?
The recordings they did was only the drums. So we went to Sweden to record the drums with Hugo and Simon and Mike, and the other recordings we did by ourselves.
But they handled the mix and master as well.
Yeah.
But I want to give a small detail about, because when I go the first time to Stockholm, I told you with the hard disk, a few days later Mike called me and he said, Dennis, there are some issues with the drums. And he said, if we go in the future work together again, I want to at least record the drums, because the drums is actually the most important instrument on the album. If the drums is not good, not tight, or not good in the mix, the whole album sucks, especially the snare drum. And that's actually one of the reasons that we said, okay, we go to Stockholm, we recorded the drums, then we know for sure it's okay, more than okay enough, because we have our own home studio, so we can recording here the guitars and the key parts.
Vocals, guitar.
So that was actually the main reason that we go to the drums for Omertà to Stockholm, that we say, now Mike, you're doing the drums, so you cannot say there are issues with the drums.
In other words, he had an issue done on Slang and Des Doods.
Yes, yeah, more than one.
Alright, clearly understand. The album artwork is done by Dark Grove Design, who has also designed album covers for Manowar, Korpiklani, Impaled Nazi Nazarene, Sirenia, and many others. And yes, of course, it's within the same concept. We are talking about now this mafia things. The grim mafia atmosphere will also be reflected. For those who have seen the shows or the videos, seen that this mafia atmosphere also reflected on stage when you guys are performing. What a great cover artwork. I'm talking about Omertà now, executed, especially for the novel that the band are representing. Yes, if you don't mind, could you please tell us more about this album artwork done for Omertà? Did you know Jan Ierland of Dark Groove design from before?
No, actually my girlfriend came with him. He said, take a look to this. And I was totally shocked. And I said, yeah, but who we work with? Manowar, Kopiklani. I said, I think we never can pay this guy for the artwork. She said, yeah, but just contact him. And actually he emailed him. And yeah, the contact was actually very cool. And he's a very nice guy. He actually talks also good Dutch because he had lived here in the past. And yeah, it was actually pretty cool working with him. And we are really, really happy with him. And actually also a strange situation what I had with Mike. We had also with Jan Ierland, actually.
We also met him in a pub in Amsterdam to drink some beers with him. It was really nice talking with him. Yeah, really nice guy.
But if you see the cover artwork done for Omertà, I mean, you guys had a lot to say in this. I mean, this was special, created. That was your touch, your desire. It even impacted me more than the new cover artwork because it was the first time that you guys have started this concept about the mafia. And when I saw the cover artwork, and it's also related like in a bar, you can see that people was there was a shooting, people are dead, and all these things, I mean, that has to do with the mafia. But all these, what you find on this cover artwork was 100% your creation that has brought over to this guy?
I think, of course, he gave it his own touch. And I think he just felt, when listening to our music, well, he saw the picture. And with that in his head, I think he made this artwork.
If you haven't given him a hint, you just give him the song, created the artwork. I mean, he's a very, very talented, I must say.
He's absolutely talented, yes. Of course, we talked about the album with him. And of course, we talked about the mafia and about our vision, about the songs and the music. And with that in mind, he created this artwork. So it is, of course, a little bit of us and a lot of him. And I think the collaboration is very good. So, and then you create some nice work, I guess.
Yeah, and he had also the lyrics, because we gave him the lyrics, because the music, because we also has done by Mike, it's very clear. It's aggressive. The music is really clear. You can hear every instrument really tight in our opinion, because we do everything by click. So it sounds really cold, a cold feeling with also a dirty atmosphere. So I remember we give Jan also that hint. And when we getting the artwork, you see on Omertà, the music is also dirty and mean, but it looks very cold. And that's what also the artwork is doing on that album, in my opinion.
Okay, guys, to continue talking about this great album that has been released in 2016. For this album, Omertà, promotional cycle playing at different stages in the Netherlands, but the band has also toured to Germany, Czech Republic, Austria, and Iceland. How was the trip gone promoting this album at these countries? And yes, how has the band been received?
I guess they really liked it.
Yeah, sure, because especially when you hear the intro of Omertà, you hear it, I guess. You hear a music like in a bar. That's the intro. And we use that live too. So when we're starting the intro, a lot of people they're looking strange, especially on the festival in the Czech Republic. They look like, what the fuck is this? Because Hugo, our drummer, you said also you have listened to the music, but you hear also Hugo is a real human drum computer.
Yeah, he's a machine.
He's a machine.
And yeah, it's crazy.
And when we started playing, people said it's like a storm of horses that cross around the people, because the sound, and especially by the drums and a lot of keys, the orchestras and the tempos. So it's not what the people expect on that moment. So, and after that, we got a lot of very positive vibes.
Yeah. Some people thought lot were talking afterwards. They were really shocked by the music and thought it was really amazing, but they noticed that they probably needed to re-listen to our music without having a lot of beers because it was so fast and there was happening so much that, they couldn't
register in their mind what happened.
Yeah.
It's not like old school death metal. Yeah, go on. We got a lot of tempo changes and there's a lot of things happen in the music. Yeah, we get actually always very, very positive vibe. That's Massacre has interest in us.
Did you feel that the band was well received, and especially when we're talking about going to Iceland, perhaps? How was the trip there?
It was really amazing in our opinion.
Yeah, the trip itself was also really amazing. The band members, everyone who went with us, because we went with 8 people, it's like one big family. So with all my friends, I went to Iceland and we did have a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that's the most great thing, to go to a country like Iceland and play music over there. Yeah, one funny thing was that before we did have our show, I'd want to go outside, have some fresh air and do a little walk. And while I was walking towards the river or the water over there, one guy, he walked towards me and he asked me, "Are you from the band Misanthropia?" And I told him, "Yeah, why?" Well, I noticed that you were from Misanthropia and I really want to see you guys tonight. So I was really surprised that someone recognized me in Iceland. Yeah, it was really fun. And so the guy was also going to our show and I think he enjoyed it very much.
So you're more famous than what you have thought.
I'm not sure if you have to call it famous, because I don't know if I want to call it famous. It's just nice to meet people that are interested in your music and they feel what you want to tell them. And it's just nice to meet those people. And it doesn't matter if it's just one or if it's 1,000 people, or it's just nice to meet people that are interested in what you're doing, because we are spending most of our time to the music.
I guess that's the same feeling Mike felt when Dennis came up to him and asked him if he's Dennis from King Diamond.
Yeah, you can compare it with that. Yeah.
Maybe you're more famous than Mike. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is that the people we are working with are also normal people like you and me. Mike is famous, but he's also a normal guy that is very interested in music, and it's nice to work together with him and also with Jan. Yeah, it's nice to have those people around you that are able to make this project to a nice end.
Okay, guys, continue with this interview. We're going towards what the new album is about, and we're talking about Convoy of Sickness. The band's 4th full-length album, Convoy of Sickness, will be released this December 4th, 2020 via Massacre Records, after have released Rise of Necropolis independently with Slang Des Doods and Omertà through the French Snakebite production. Convoy of Sickness will be the band's first work with the German record label Massacre Records. Was the contract with Snakebite Records only for 2 records? My first question. How did you nail the deal now with Massacre Records, and how are they responding towards this upcoming new album?
Because Snakebite Records is a very small company. When we did Omertà, what you also said, we did some tours and we have a very stable lineup. We are very confident the last 2-3 years, I guess. And so we made some pre-production. We have also an own studio, so we can make the pre-production on a very high quality, and that makes you also stronger. And so what we did, we make a pre-production of 3 songs, and I sent it to Massacre because I know that Massacre Records is a very healthy company. A lot of great bands are there, and they are a very long time. We were really confident with that, with our own production, so I sent it to them. And Thomas Hedlund, the director, he called me, he said, "I have interest." On that time, I was really, really happy. But then we talk and he make a contract for us. We are really, really happy. So I think also when a band doing some very good live shows, then you're getting stronger. Yeah, it makes you confident. You know?
I think that Snakebite Records was also part of our growing as bands. Yeah, Massacre Records is the next step, so to say.
So there's no fight, no anything between the band and Snakebite Records. Everything is cool. You just want to grow up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, maybe you don't know it, but during Omertà is released by 2 different companies. It's also released by via Via Nocturna from Poland. Maybe you did see that?
I saw Via Nocturna, but that was for some gigs and we're gonna talk about.
Because the Snakebite Records is not so big, and Snakebite Via Nocturna contact us to do also the distribution to Japan and to the US. And Snakebite Records, they were not unable to do that. So Via Nocturna did also Omertà, they released it again, so they did the distribution to the US and to Japan. That's also a little bit strange thing, but there are no issues between the company.
Okay, guys, talking about this fourth album with their latest edition, Convoy of Sickness, the band seemed to have built up its predecessor, but the events of the stories are from Dutch and Belgian ground that occurred during the late 70s until present days. Please explain us about this chapter, the band concept history regarding the underworld crimes among mafias, but this time, yes, in your own soil, Dutch and Belgian grounds.
The 70s, there was a big mafia guy. It was Klaas Bruinsma. I think he was the first big mafia guy in the Netherlands. And in that time, it was very violent, normally in the underground scene. But they didn't use guns against each other. When he started to do business, things went different. He was a guy that just used also the guns against the other mafia people. And it went very violent. That was from that's in the 70s.
And the 80s, and he's killed in 1991. And then the other stories about, maybe you know it, kidnapping from Heineken. That's going about the eagle and the hare. That's from the lyric video. And we did also the song, actually the first real song, Silent War, goes about Willem Enstra. He was the underworld bankier because what he did, a lot of big criminals, especially from Amsterdam, they had a lot of money, but they could nothing with the money. So they gave it to Enstra and he washed the money so those people can do what they want, especially with the tax and stuff. But he created an underworld war. So a lot of people were killed in Amsterdam and around Amsterdam. And that was also about Willem Holleder. And Willem Holleder, he did also the Heineken kidnapping. And Willem Holleder is present this day. He is now in a trial for charge for more than 7 kills. And the other songs, it goes about Belgium. That's more about the Band van Nijvel. And
okay, the band first sign of the new album was through the lyric video done for the track The Eagle and the Hare, just a couple days away for the track Sorrow Made Flash. Guys, is there anything you'd like to share with us about this video? Who was responsible for the making?
Also Jan Eelung, he did the artwork. He made also the lyric videos.
Okay.
And he did a very well job, in our opinion.
Please explain us a little bit about these videos.
Eagle and Hare, the title is very strange, but Eagle and Hare is going about the Heineken kidnapping. When they kidnap Mr. Heineken, they get to the police, they get some instructions from the kidnappers. And there was a cassette tape. When they listen to the cassette tape, they get some, what I told you, instruction, what they have to do with the money and where they must deliver the money. When they have finished the money, it was about 35 million euro. They say, when you have fixed the money, you must put it in the newspaper. Het weiland is groen voor de haas.
Yeah.
That's what you see in that lyric video. Because the kidnappers called themselves the eagle and the victim was the hare.
Yeah.
So that's why we called the song The Eagle and the Hare. It's actually a really sick story.
Explain us a little bit about this new video, Sorrow Made Flash.
Sorrow Made Flash, that's about Belgium story. It's about the Niveler gang, the Band van Nijvel. It was in 1985 in November at a supermarket. There was a very big killing. One guy, he just survived this killing. His father, his mother, his sister were killed during this robbery, but he survived. And it's a really, really terrible story. He was just 9 years old, that guy, and he was shot down, but he survived. His leg, I think, missed 5 centimeters, a few inches of his bone because of the shot he got from the robbers, but he survived. So his grandfather did a lot of research about this robbery, and this was the last robbery of a lot of robberies from this gang. It was very violent, and the strange thing about this story is that the government seems to...
No, they have the solution, but they are corrupt. The Belgian charge is just really, really corrupt, because also by this investigation, they're losing a lot of proof. There was a car was dismissed, there was a lot of bullet was dismissed, a lot of victims. They have not answered some questions, nothing.
They were not heard by the government.
Yes.
So the complete story is very strange, and right now it's, I think, 21 years ago.
To 30 years ago. Also, what really sick is, because the investigation was in Dendermonde, and you know Belgium has two languages, Vlaams, same as Dutch, and France. But after 10 years surgery, they moved the information from Dendermonde to Charleroi, and Charleroi is France. So they lost all the information, but that's just the plan from the government. Pretty sick. It's really sick.
It's really sick, yeah.
Yeah, and what really, really strange is, and that's also one of the reasons that we take that song for the lyric video, the situation is gonna be barred. That means that verjaard, barred, verjaren, Jacco.
Yeah.
So they have some extra time. They get 5 years extra time now, and it's
for the investigation.
For the investigation, but it's gonna be barred. So we take this video, and maybe they can use this video also to take the solution for who really responsible is this for this. But all the songs have their own story like this.
Okay, guys, to continue. Yes, the band have worked closely again, this time with Mike Wheat, King Diamond, Merciful Fate, and Simon Johansson of Wolf and Soilwood from Solna Sound Recording, and are responsible for sound mix and mastering. The band's third work with Mike and Simon at Solna Sound Recording. What else has been added or deleted from this new album, Convoy of Sickness, compared to Omertà?
Yeah, first of all, we did the drums here in Holland, because we got Mike to a very high-end studio here in the Netherlands, and he recorded the drums here, because actually that's the same story at just the beginning of this interview. We want to do that. Mike was behind the knobs, behind the desk table in the studio, what we needed for the drums. So we decided now, because Hugo, he has an extreme drum kit. He said, Dennis and Bram, I can't take this with me to Stockholm, so we must pick him here up. Mike said okay, so that was also something new compared with Omertà. Otherwise, because we have playing 5 years further, we're more confident with writing the music. Our keyboard player, Thijs Mulders, he is extreme guy about gear. He puts all his money and time in new gear and all new some stuff, and because the quality of the sound from the key parts it's really extreme high, and I think that's one of the most extreme things you can hear back in Convoy of Sickness.
Talking about gears, I mean, not only for the recording, but when you guys play live, what type of gears do you use?
Fractal audio, XFX for the amplifiers.
Yeah.
About guitars, bass?
We are playing a lot of different brands of guitars, but for example, we play with Gibson, Patrick Koopman.
He's a Luther from this area, Patrick Koopman.
I mean, not to interrupt you, but when I was a couple of years ago in Wacken, I saw this show of Zakk Wylde, but this guy didn't do anything that 45-minute play presenting his guitars. And I saw you guys with this pick with Zakk Wylde's guitars.
Gibson, the Zakk Wylde signature. We both have Gibson custom shop, Zakk Wylde signature. Really, really expensive guitars. We can't bring that during every gig. Only a good venue, then I will bring him, but that counts for him the same. We can't bring that. No.
We are also very guitar addict. Also, all the fractal audio, we also really love those stuff. The nice thing about using that live is that we always have the sound that we want to have, because the sound is directly from the fractal audio to the main stage, to the front of house. We never have problems with wrongly placed mics in front of cabinets, wrong cabinets, someone walking against a mic, the mic falls down, that kind of stuff. We just have our sound. So that was the same that we did when we flew to Iceland. We just brought our fractal audio XFX with us, and we did have amazing sound in that pub. We just have the sound that we want to have.
Yeah, I remember we brought this with us in Iceland, and before was playing a band from Germany. They play actually on a crappy backline. And I said to Bram, I'm really, really happy that we're bringing our own stuff. We did the sound check and we thought, okay.
You play after them.
We play after them, yeah. We were a headliner.
That had made them look like shit, man.
Yeah, that must be. And we bring always our own sound guy with us because that happened too much. We play with a click. The drummer has a click and the key parts coming from a unit that goes straight from the house, and there's the key parts from. So we need a sound guy that knows what's happened, and there is no time to explain this and this and this and that.
Wow.
They're gonna be mad at us, because
Yeah, in the past, we always had problems with sound guys from a venue. Always problems. And they just mess up our sound. They know how it should sound in that venue, so they do it in their way. But, well, we did have so much problems. And after some while, we just decided we need our own sound guy that knows our sound, that knows what to do. And yeah, that works best for us.
And now we have 3 people, 1 main and 2 reserves. 1 cannot. We got the second. He's also not enabled. We got the third one. Really afraid for this kind of situations.
That's very clever from you.
He was just 9 years old, looking up the sky.
Convoy of Sickness. This album will be released on December 4th, 2020 via Massacre Records, as we just said, and it contains 10 tracks. Is there anything else besides the song that you already talk about that you want to say, that you want to talk about this album?
I think there are 2 songs. There's Aan de Herwijnse Zijde. That's actually the intro of The Unburied.
Yeah.
And that goes about the bodyguard of Klaas Bruinsma.
Yeah, that's also a really sick story.
Yeah, because he was a bodyguard of Klaas Bruinsma, the big Dutch
mafia guy, the first mafia guy from the Netherlands.
Yeah, and Klaas Bruinsma, he felt himself betrayed by him.
Yeah.
So he decided to delete him from his family. And he decided we do it like another way. We take a chainsaw and they cut him.
Pieces.
Yeah, they saw him into pieces.
Put him in a barrel and fill it with concrete and throw it in the river. And yeah, that barrel that was floating through the river, and it was found near the Herwijnse Zijde. It was found at some spot. And that's why it's called the Herwijnse Zijde. That's the intro of the song The Unburied. And yeah, well, that guy was not buried. It was just put in a basket filled with concrete.
Hey, he was cemented.
Cemented, yes.
Okay, guys, to continue with this interview, the time is flying. It's so great talking to you guys. But yes, we have to continue. The Netherlands are well known for its great festivals like Dynamo Festival, the Netherlands Dead Fest, Stonehenge, Into the Grave, Dutch Doom Days, Eindhoven Metal Meeting, Dokkenmotemeer. But since the band are coming from out of Nijmegen, we cannot forget the Forta Rock Festival, which was a Dutch heavy metal festival that was organized annually in Nijmegen from the summer of 2009 to summer 2019. The festival got its name from Forta Pak, a manufacturer of milk and juices boxes. Robert Gorstanje, son of the director and employee at Forta Pak, founded Forta Rock. The edition from 2009 to 2012 were held in the Park Brankenstein, but from 2013, the festival took place in a larger festival area, which was the Goffert Park. Guys, have you got the chance to play at this great festival, and why have them stopped with it?
We have never got the chance to play there. Why? I don't know. When it was on the first place in Brakkestein in Nijmegen, it was more cozy on that period. But that festival had so much success, and the biggest company, I can't take the name now in my head, that's during the programming. When it was on Brakkestein, there was also playing some underground bands. And when it changed to the Goffert Park, the only really big name. Mm-hmm. So the atmosphere was not better, in my opinion.
Okay, but you guys coming from the area, I mean, have you attended this festival at least as a fan? But what do you believe was the major decision that they has decided to put an end to this festival?
Yeah, I think money problems. Because the last times it was not so a success.
Too expensive bands.
Too expensive bands, but there were not so...
less audience.
Yeah, less audience. And then you get a money problem.
Yeah, I think right now Doornroosje is having the big bands. So Doornroosje is a very big venue in Nijmegen. I think they were also working together with Forta Rock. So yeah, right now the big bands are over there. They have a new building. They have a very great sound. Yeah,
they made a new podium.
Yeah, very big podium. Yes.
Huge. I think it's the same like 013 in Tilburg.
013, yeah.
That.
Yeah, we had an amazing sound. The sound is really amazing over there.
Yes, talking about festivals and shows that the band had some shows already for 2020. Doetinchem, Roeselare, Hartenberg, Landgraaf, Hoogeveen, to say some. I mean, has all these shows due this COVID been cancelled? I mean, but has all these shows already rescheduled for this coming year? And what are the plans for this band in support of this great new album, Convoy of Sickness, for 2021? What are your plans?
Some shows are cancelled indeed, but the shows with, for example, Together with Pestilence, they are rescheduled for February 21.
Yeah, we hope we can do those shows. But, we have contact. I mean, we are by booking agency, the same booking agency where Pestilence is including. They're doing a lot of promotion for us, what we also needed for this album, and a company called Eternal Rock. Mm-hmm. There's a really serious booking agency.
Also really nice people.
Really nice people.
Yeah, nice contact.
Nice contact. It's a very healthy company also. They are, as established from 2006, so also a long time. And they have also interest because they think our live performance is really, really cool. That's what we need. And we need to promote this new album. And so we need those gigs and we need the tours. And so we only can do is hope, but we have now in our schedule the dates with Pestilence official, and Pestilence is actually here in Holland, I think the biggest death metal band we have. They were the first death metal band that toured as headliner to the US in the end of the 80s. So we are really, really proud we can do those shows with those guys.
I had to interview Patrick Mameli last year, if I'm not wrong. And I saw Pestilence many times in the Netherlands. But guys, so you believe that these shows will take place? I'm talking about all these venues that I just mentioned that was cancelled this year.
I think maybe we can do the shows with some strange solutions, that the audience have wearing a mask, or maybe 50 people, or maybe 100 people, or no alcohol, or I think
no dancing,
no dancing, no atmosphere.
Yes.
I think we can do the shows, but not by the normal circumstances.
Would you rather not do the show than do it like that?
We really like to do those shows.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because also with our performance, of course, we like to see a lot of people in the venue. But for us, if there is one people, or there are 10, or there are a few hundred people, it doesn't matter. If they are enjoying our show, then we will have a great show. And it would be nice if there are no restrictions anymore because of the COVID. If there are restrictions, then we just have to deal with that. And we will do those shows under those restrictions.
But guys, talking about this great new album, Convoy of Sickness, and when we talking now, we are just a couple weeks away of its release. What will you guys be doing then, especially for this release? Any release party? With restriction. Anything plans?
Release party is not possible because all the venues, we have a lockdown now here in Holland for all restaurants, bars, pubs, clubs. Everything is just closed. So our booker is contact someone. There's one answer: no.
Okay, but how about live stream? Did you think about that?
Yeah, we have to think about that. But then you need also the venue. We can do it in the rehearsal room, but that's no option to us. If you want to do a streaming in a venue, then you get the situation also too many people in one room. And you can have here 4 or 5 people in one room. Yeah. But the band's already with 4 people. It's a really, really fucked up situation. Yeah. But otherwise, we are really, really proud because when we contact Massacre Records, he signed us during the COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, but talking about this COVID thing, you guys encounter bad thing releasing this album this year. At no point, at no time of your self-conscious, of your mind, have you thought about, fuck this year, let me switch my release date to 2021?
No. I think business just goes
further.
Yeah, even if the live shows are cancelled and that kind of stuff, and even if there is COVID, we are just going by the flow, and we are not stopping by this.
With Pestilence in Germany is the first show. It's actually 8 weeks after the release. So we decided, and we only can do is hope to do that show. We do a lot of promotions ourselves by streaming the lyric videos, and 1 week after the release, there's also coming a playthrough video also from us. And maybe we decided to record more videos, playthrough or lyric videos to promote the album on that way. So by streaming, I have 2 options. If you do a live streaming, what then? It's an option, but how many people shall watch the streaming? I don't know. It's also a risk too. I think no one knows what is good or what is bad. It's a really, really strange and a really fucked up situation where we're dealing with it. And all bands have the same problems now.
If you were a band that are more melancholic, more slow music, then yes, why not? Live streaming, and people sit down, in a chair. You imagine you guys, extreme metal, doing a show and people sitting, not allowed to stand up, not allowed to headbang. That's impossible.
That's really strange, indeed. I'm really wondering how that will be.
Feels for me like what you say now, the situation, that feels for me that we are like a musical wallpaper. It's really...
Let's go over to conclude this interview. Dennis and Bram, I want to thank you very much for having made this interview possible. I want to hand you over the microphone of Metal Messiah Radio for you to invite all your friends, all your fans to support the band, to buy the band's previous album, and to buy the brand brand new album. This album coming up December 4th via Massacre Records. I'm talking about Convoy of Sickness. Yes, so yes, this is gonna get more brutal and faster, this album, as well as heavier and melodic songs, and an album that even more bombastic than its predecessor, Omertà. But before we leave, guys, I cannot leave again with ask you this. The cover artwork, I see it there in the background, guys. You're sitting there. A very great album, again done by Jan Ierland of Dark Groove Design. I'm saying this, is he responsible for this great album artwork again?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing. He's a real artist.
See the album artwork now. Wow, it's so fantastic. It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, that's a great. I remember I was here on the couch and we had a lot of contact with him. And I need to tell you something about this album cover. You see the carriage, you see the horses, and you see the coffin. In the early 80s was Cor van Hout and Willem Holleder. They were the brains of the kidnapping by Heineken. After that, they failed and they were in jail, but they were still close friends. Also, they were a family. The sister of Holleder, she was married with Cor van Hout. Willem Holleder has killed Cor van Hout.
No.
Yes. And if you can see it on YouTube, the funeral of Cor van Hout, that looks like what you see on the cover from Convoy of Sickness. That's actually almost the same picture. And it sounds really sick, but we decided to put the same picture actually in a draw by Jan Ierland, but then through a city and all the people walks behind the carriage, like not like zombies, but the government put you in a array to act you like sheep. Yeah. And that's what you see on this cover. We all like sheep. But when I get this picture from Jan Ierland, I was here on the couch, like on Saturday evening, I still remember, and I get a message from Jan. Then here's the artwork, and I said, okay, just put the movie on stop. And I watched on my telephone, and I just looked.
You fell down in the couch.
Yeah, I was speechless. I was really speechless.
You were shocked.
Yes, I said, what the hell is this? But some people, they say, yeah, it looks like Abigail from King Diamond, or otherwise from the section, the somber lane. Okay, maybe, but if you take a good look, you can't compare it with them. And I love the music of King Diamond. I'm a huge fan of King Diamond, and I'm a huge fan of this section. So really proud on that if people compare us with them, So we are free to show what our inspiration is.
Yeah.
Tell me, for fans that like to buy this new album, what are the formats available?
CD, digital streaming.
No albums, vinyls?
No. Maybe in the future, but so far as this way, we have a contract with Massacre only on
CD and digital streaming.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see in the future.
It would be awesome to have it on vinyl.
Yeah.
A big cover like this,
Yeah, really awesome. It would be nice artwork on the wall.
But talking about artwork and the vinyl and everything, before I say goodbye, guys, how about t-shirts?
Yes. Next month we get some new merchandise. T-shirts.
The new album cover on t-shirts?
Yes. And we sent you one.
Great. Because I saw you have different type of t-shirt. I saw your Facebook page. Are these also still available? All these t-shirts?
Yes. The red one, we have in almost all sizes, only black and white with the newspaper stuff.
And I see they're all double printed.
They're double printed, yes.
Yeah, great.
And the new one is also double printed with this new album cover.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're allowed to say this already, but double printed, you mean in the front you will have this cover artwork, and in the back what would you have then?
Now on the t-shirts, there's the cover. On the back side, there's a text from the album.
Just Convoy of Sickness.
Braving the conflict.
In 2 weeks from now?
I think because they because we have contact with a German company and they are really busy, but I'm really shocked me. I said, how is it possible that you are busy now during these days? He said, yeah, but a lot of bands, they don't have the shows.
But they sell merchandise.
Yeah, but they're selling a lot of merchandise. I think 2 weeks after the release, we have the new merchandise at home.
Yes, in 2 weeks from now, so we can counting down the 2 weeks. You guys can order this T-shirt and singing this album cover artwork.
Yes.
I mean, I believe me.
Braving the
Tell me
conflict.
where I have to tell you the money because I want that T-shirt. You don't have to give it to me. I want to buy it. I want to support the band. And that's why I will tell you, each and every one of you out there, please support this great band, Misanthropia. Buy their album, buy the merchandises because they doing a killer music. They making great music. They make us enjoying the music. They creating great music for us, the likemen. So we want them to stay around. We have to support them. Buy the new album, support the band, buy their older albums as well. If you want to get to know the band much better, for those that don't know the band as yet, but support them for this great new album. Buy this great new album, Convoy of Sickness. So guys, before I leave, I'm gonna hand you over the microphone of Madam Sai Radio for you to thanks whoever you wants to thank.
Yeah, first of all, my girlfriend and my little daughter for support because I'm always busy because I have a job near this stuff and we are always hurry up. And of course the other bandmates, Pepijn, Heilbron and Hugo the Waal and Thijs Mulders, you know, without them it's impossible to make this music together. And we are really close line up. I'm very, very grateful for that. And I really special want to say also thank to Mike Weed and Jan Orgi Eerlund for that amazing job because without them it would be nothing.
It wasn't possible to create this kind of album with all those people we are working together with.
Yes, and we learn also a lot about it because every album recording, it's on itself. The first record, Rise of Necropolis, was for us, I think, the most funniest because it was another time. It was really in the studio and now we did everything almost separate. So it was not so funny, but we learned a lot. And we learned also that we think, okay, maybe we can do that in the future different or maybe not. But it was a really, really nice journey. And I'm really grateful to say that also to Massacre Records. Because of them, this was also that interview not possible probably.
If you go back, if I have to say, the band was born in 2004 or 5. I mean, you're talking about already that 15 years. If you have to compare albums, I mean, your first album, you were still discovering yourself, and compared to what you are now to this new album, it's a huge step.
It's a huge step. Yeah, I'm really happy that you see that. We work really, really hard, you know, and I remember that we recorded Rise of Necropolis. Gerben van der A, he's not the best producer, absolutely not, but he is a really, really nice guy to work with. And during the recording, he said, Dennis, come on, or Bram, come on, this can better, this sucks, this is really good. He was really honest, and you really need this as a musician, that you work with someone that is honest. If something is bad, just accept it's bad and go back to your rehearsal room. That's because recording an album, a lot of people say, yeah, in the studio, everything possible. Okay, there's a lot of things possible in the studio, but not everything, you know.
I think we are just going for the best in all ways. The sound, the production, the shows. We just want to do the best possible. And that's always for about 15 or 20 years.
Yeah, more than 20 years actually. But also the performance during the recording of an album. You know, you can do a lot of things these days. But the performance and rehearsal, sometimes you must accept something is not good enough, just delete it. And not, okay, it sounds okay, report it on the album. Because when you release the album, it's forever. Every time when you hear this back, because when I hear now Rise of Necropolis, I still listen to that album. And I'm a truck driver and I listen back and I think, oh shit, why I didn't change this or this, you know?
See things different, man. At that time.
Absolutely.
I think we are growing. We are growing just like our music. We are growing and still growing.
Just one question before I say goodbye. I didn't see you guys live as yet, but if I have to see your videos and from Omertà, a great album. Now, my question is, how about your stage performances? I mean, Omertà, compared to what will be now after when the festivals, when the shows start again for this great new album, how will your stage performance be? In what way will you guys be performing even better than what you have done?
Yeah, we use also, of course, a new backdrop, a new atmosphere on stage. We never play like jeans and a band shirt, you know. We're looking like the mobs, you know, just like the mafia. Yes. Bram and I are talking a lot about all those things. If I saw a little Gene Simmons from Kiss say always in the 80s, he said, when audience watching to a band, they use for 80% his eyes and 20% the ears. And that's true. That's really true. That's really true. I'm not a big fan of Rammstein, but just look a show from Rammstein.
Karakter Angren, perhaps.
Yes, yeah, that's a shame.
And Angren also have a really nice performance indeed.
I know those guys for a really, really long time. And a few years ago, we played with them in 2007. And Dennis Dromos, the singer of Karak Angren, he had all the makeup and stuff. And he was talking to me really nice. Just the same conversation as we're talking now. With the mask paired, And then he was in conversation as we have now, And really,
but all the masks that he uses when doing show, he make them his own.
Yes, he make them. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. It's a band. I think for me, it's the best Dutch band we have here.
Yeah, but this is all talking about stage performances. So, I mean, for fans that know you guys already, so with this new album, with new shows, they can even get a better stage presentation.
Yes. We have new clothes. We have new stuff on the stage, new backdrops, more things during the songs, because we got a lot of special effects in the music during the songs. The backing tracks are more creepy, more aggressive. So to make on the album, if you read all the lyrics, you think how it's possible that a human being is become like this. And that's what we want to bring over to the audience. Actually.
Okay, guys, I need to stop, because we go over the time. Guys, it was a pleasure talking to you. Say hello to all of the rest of the members. Say hello to Hugo for me, to Thijs, to Pepijn. And anything else you want to say?
Yeah, of course. We want to thank Metal Messiah Radio International for this nice interview. And I want to say to our fans that we really hope if they're listening to our music, they also feel the tension and the atmosphere and the vibe that we are trying to tell them by our music. The vibe that we are feeling. I hope our fans also are feeling that.
Yeah, and I want to say also really, really thank you. We really appreciate it that you gave us the time to tell us about this album. Yeah, it's a really warm thing for us. And to our fans, keep healthy during this COVID stuff. Take care about yourself and do think special about yourself. Another one is not doing it for you, so please take care, and then maybe we can play some shows in your area.
And mosh together.
Yeah, we mosh together, yes. Let's kill them.
Yeah, awesome.
Guys, thank you very much. Be safe. First of all, wish you all the best with this great new album. I want to congratulate you for the release of Convoy of Sickness, and I hope to see you guys live this coming year. I'm coming back to the Netherlands. I'm looking forward for the schedule to catch you guys on the road. We're gonna meet. We're gonna get some beers together. I want to see you playing live. Yes, as I said, I wish you all the best with this great new album, and thank you very much for putting out this great new album. Continue giving us the best of you, the best music.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Hugo.
Thank you very much, Hugo.
Like I always say, metal on. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Hugo.
Yeah.